Hey everybody, welcome to another YouTube video. This is going to be an overview of the classic Wix editor. I am in a template right now that I've kind of built for these demonstration purposes. So if you were to go into the Wix editor from your website's dashboard, you might see something along the lines of this, where we would have our first homepage section where our header is going to be. We'll have some kind of logo, and then our menu somewhere in this top section. We'll have a hero section, and then you're going to have all these buttons and stuff around the website. And everything is going to be interactive on this page. Now, to dive into this, we're just going to kind of go button by button, and I'm just going to describe what each of them does. So this first plus sign is really where you're going to add new elements to the website. Now, if you've already had a website built, be very, very careful about how or what you're adding to the website from this section. You can add a lot of stuff in, but every time you add something from this plus section on the website, you're going to have to adjust mobile. And Wix can be a little finicky sometimes when you add elements onto the website. So if we were to add anything from here, if we add text, if we add images, buttons, new strips, decorations, and I'll go through and talk a little bit about what each of these are, you're going to have to then adjust mobile, which is found here. But before we get into that, let's just go through a couple of things. So we have our text, theme text, titles, paragraphs. We also have the option to add collapsible text, which is really nice if you have a big amount of text that you need to fit into a small space. You can add collapsible text, and then these will be read more, read less situations where you can click and make them smaller. We have this add section button. So the whole website is made up of a bunch of sections. This would be one section. This would be one section. This would be a section. This would be a section, so on and so forth. And Wix has some built-in sections, theme sections that you can add to your website for whatever you're trying to put onto it. So we have team, we have contact sections, we have some promotional sections, services, subscribe, so on and so forth. So if you've already had your website built, you won't need to add these necessarily. But if you're building your website yourself, then these might be helpful to you, to drop in, and then you can edit the text and images. Our page view. So this is going to be an overview of all of the information that is on our website currently. So we're going to have, on this particular website, we'll have our home, we'll have our shop, frequently asked questions, pricing plans, events, so on and so forth. And you can click through these tabs to see all of the pages on your site. Now, this is going to be your main navigational menu. And then you're also going to have a bunch of pages associated with the plugins that are on your site. So for example, if you have a shop on your site, you will probably have sign up and login, members pages, and store pages. Some of these other ones, like event pages, these are going to go with the event plugin. Blog pages are going to go with the blog plugin. Program pages, programs, and dynamic pages is a whole nother instructional video in the future. Be sure to check that out. Dynamic pages can help you a lot if you have a ton of information that you need to put on the website and need to do it in a neat, organized manner. Our site design tab, this is very important. This is how really every website originates. So we'll come in and we can change the colors and the text theme throughout the entire site. So we can change the colors, the main color scheme throughout the site. For example, if I was to change this to a black, then you can see how the colors are going to be changing on the website here. So it's going to go from that gold color and it's going to change to whatever we input here. So let's say if you make you build your entire website in one color, and then you end up deciding that you wanted a completely different color, you can come in here and you can change your theme colors. So it's a really nice feature. It does help with if you change your mind, after the fact, or to begin with, if you start off this way, you'll be better off. And then the text is going to have us set up our headings and our paragraphs. So we have 6 different headings, and then we have 3 different paragraphs. We can set these up with different fonts, sizing, colors, and then we can, when we want to add that text to the site, we can come into our text here, go to our theme text, and we can see all of that input information here and drag and drop it onto the site. Also, under the site theme, color, and design here, we have our page background for the page that we're currently on. And then we're going to have our page transitions. This is going to change how the pages come in and out of the site. So when we switch from a home to a shop page, it's going to dictate how those pages appear. We can have no effect. We can go horizontally, vertically, crossfade, and in and out. Site apps. So Wix has a lot of apps, otherwise known as plugins, that we can install on our website and do certain things. So there's a lot of third-party plugins and there's a lot of Wix plugins. Third-party versus Wix aren't necessarily better than one or the other. However, you're going to have support from Wix if you use Wix plugins. And then if you're not using Wix plugins, you will have to reach out to that third party for support if there is an issue with it. I would preferably have a Wix plugin on my site. That way I can reach out to Wix for help if I ever needed it. But this is where you have all of your apps that you can install or manage. You have manage apps down at the bottom here. There is a ton of stuff that you can install on your website: Wix restaurants, table reservations, events, bookings, store, blog, all of that good stuff that may or may not be installed on your website, or that you may or may not want on your website. That is all really located in the marketplace here. Next, we have My Business. Now, My Business is going to change depending on what you have on your website. So I have, for demonstration purposes, I have everything installed on this website. I have blogs, events, pricings, store, everything is on this website. But this is where you would come to manage all of that stuff, or single items if you had a blog, or if it was an events, if it was, set up for maybe just a video website. This is where you would come to manage that, and you can see all of this on the left side here. And when you click it, it'll change the menu that you can adjust. So for example, blogs, you can manage most of these plugins from your Wix dashboard, which is covered in the dashboard overview, where I kind of go over how you would do that from your dashboard. A lot of this stuff I do recommend that you manage from your dashboard. For example, blogs, you do not have to come into Wix Editor to manage your blogs, because they give you the option on your dashboard. Why go into Editor and take the chance of messing around with the user interface elements that are on the page? You might click something or drag something off the page and it won't show up on the site correctly. So my recommendation is always to manage what you can from the dashboard and not go into Wix Editor. However, this is where you can manage all of those things from Wix Editor. So essentially, you could think of this as a snapshot of your dashboard here and all of the things that you could manage from your dashboard. And I'm not going to go through every single one of these, because they will be different videos that I do go over these specific things. And I did cover how to do that in the dashboard video. We have a media tab. So this is kind of another spot where you could manage your images that are on the site, or within your Wix ecosystem. So if you build one site and save images to your Wix ecosystem, they might appear here. We also have the option to get Shutterstock images here, purchase them, Shutterstock videos, free Wix. Wix provides images and videos as well. We have site files, and then we can also upload media to our site files, which would appear here. Our content manager is going to be directly related to our dynamic pages. This I will cover in a future video, but this is where you would manage that content. Again, something that you can do from your Wix dashboard, and I don't recommend you coming into Wix Editor to manage it. However, you can do it simultaneously while editing your website. And then we have marketing analytics. So we have a lot of stuff that Wix offers us for email marketing, SEO. We can offer coupons to our customers depending upon our Wix website setup, our social posts, video makers, whole bunch of tools, fantastic tools that you can use to market and drive traffic to your website. Definitely recommend poking around. I'm not going to cover them in detail in this video. This is just a mere introduction to the dashboard here. But so that is pretty much everything that is in this right here. One thing that I do want to point out, and something that you might deal with a lot, to upload images, you will be going to this plus sign, clicking on images, and then going to upload images. And you can also show more, which is going to bring you directly to your site files. And you'll see all of these here. You can upload media directly from your computer. And that could be an image, that could be a video, that could be a document. It could be any one of those things. And then you can attach them and place them around the website. Left to right at the top here, we're going to have home. So this is going to show us all of our pages on the website, similar to how the page view does on the left side here, except now it's going to give us an extended view of all of our pages. These two buttons are going to allow us to change from desktop to mobile. So we could click on this and we could see the mobile view. This is probably not that clean. It's not bad. It's not terrible, but it's not the best. I have not adjusted for mobile. And like I said previously, when you add items to the website, you will have to come in and make sure that you adjust for mobile. If you don't, it's going to be all out of whack and it will not look clean. And you can toggle back and forth from desktop and mobile there. We're going to be suggested to upgrade our plan if we do not have this website connected to a plan. I do not have this connected to a hosting and domain. So it's going to tell us to connect to hosting and domain. We have undo and redo. So if we're working on the website and we make a mistake, we can undo that mistake, and then we can redo the step if we go too far. We can zoom out and look at our website from afar, which could be helpful when designing the overall shape and flow of the website. We have tools. Now, there are some very, very nice tools in here. First of all, we have our toolbar. A bunch of stuff that we can interact with elements on the site. So if we click on something, we have the option to copy, paste, duplicate, trash items, and then we can arrange certain elements. So for example, if this was all out of whack and I wanted to align all these elements, what I could do is I could drag over and select all of these elements, and then I can come up here and I can align them. I can also equally space them if I wanted to change the spacing in the items. And now these are all mathematically vertically aligned and spaced. We can also change sizing. So sizing is important if you're trying to get, say, a section across the entire site the same height. You can come over here and you can change that height of the element in numerical form without dragging this and trying to guess how big you need it, which is very helpful if you're trying to make everything pixel perfect on the website. We can also change positions on the site. Sometimes you may need to get something, in a particular spot on the website, depending on what you're designing, and you can do that there as well. There's also an option to show on all pages. Be careful of this because it may not be what you really want. Sometimes if we're installing maybe a side button, we want that to show on every single page. So that's how you would make that happen. Under toolbar, we have our layers. So sometimes elements will disappear and we won't know where they are. They won't be hidden. So we would come over to our layers panel, and then there in here, we can see all of the items that are within our strips, within our columns, and we can find those elements if we need to. We can also rearrange them. So if we want something to be in front of something else, say for example, this text was underneath this item here, we could find that item and then look in the strip, find the text that it's overlapping, and then pull it forward. And I'm going to try to find out where that vector item is. Alternatively, if you can't find that, you can always right click on the item and bring that to the front. And because this is in a different strip, it's not going to let me do that, but hopefully that demonstrates the idea of that function. And then we have our rulers as the next guide here. Now, rulers are going to allow us to see or align items on the page. So for example, if I did not have these guidelines already here, I could put a line that goes down the entire site and align all of these items up with the left side of the page here. Now, that grid line that I was just talking about is right in the next item here is grid lines. These are probably the most important aspect to a Wix site being responsive. And I talk a lot about this when I take on edits with a customer. They will have a website and their information will be, coming off the page. It'll be way over here. And when we're on the website, we can't even read what it says. A lot of the times what that is the text or items outside of those grid lines. And really what we need to do is we need to get everything within the grid lines that are on the site. Within our strips, within our columns, we're going to have these grid lines that are showing on the website. Let me see if I can get, there we are. So we're going to have these grid lines here, and we really want everything to be within these grid lines. Now, we have a section. What we're looking at right now is a section's grid lines. So everything that is attached to the section needs to be within those grid lines. However, this information is attached to this section. It's attached to the strip that's within the section. So make sure that when you're looking at these grid lines that you're looking at the correct place where those items are. So if you're looking at this section, these items are going to be outside of these grid lines and it's not going to be correct. However, that these are not connected to the section. They are connected to the strip within this column. And in this case, they are within the grid lines, as you can see here. And then last but not least, we have snap to objects. Snap to object is going to allow us to align things with each other. Sometimes it can be useful. For the most part, it can be useful. Sometimes it can be a little bit troublesome if you don't want something to snap to an item. For example, if I wanted to get in between these two snap items here, so it's snapping to the left side of the button and it's snapping to the left side of that icon. If I did not want it to do that, I could turn snap to items off and get it somewhere in the middle. So now it's just freely letting me move this and it's not snapping to any items. All right. And then we have our search. So we can search anything within editor here. If you're looking for a plugin, if you're looking for something to add a piece of media, you can search it, find whatever you need. Most importantly, probably the most important concept about editor is your save, preview, and publish. Save is going to save anything that you've done on the website, and it's going to only be within Wix Editor. So any change you make in Editor and you save it, it's not going to make that live to everybody. By clicking publish, publish is going to make all of your changes live to the world. So if you don't want the world to see what you've done in Wix Editor, don't publish it, just save it. If you want to show everybody what you've done to the site, then you click publish. Preview is going to give us a live preview of the website, how it would look on mobile. It may be a little glitchy. In fact, even if you were to preview the site on the URL, the free URL that Wix gives you, it might be a little glitchy. However, when upgraded to hosting and connected to a domain, it will be much smoother. And that is because it's then on a paid plan, and it'll function and flow as it should. In preview, it can be a little glitchy, so just be mindful of that. If something is a little strange, if images are loading a little slow, or if fade effects, load in effects aren't looking correct, it's probably because you're in preview mode, and it will run much smoother in the future when you are on hosting and domain. Couple more things up on the top here. We have our site tab, which is going to allow us to just do a few things that you would kind of normally see in an editing tab: save, preview, publish, get feedback. You could actually, send this to your a client or a coworker or a colleague and get feedback on the site. View your site publish. So this is how you would get that URL to show somebody, outside of Wix Editor, so they'd be able to use that URL to go onto your website, whatever, and see whatever you have published. You can view your site on mobile, so you can actually generate a QR code, and that will allow you to scan it and then see the website on a mobile device. We can create a test site, and then there's a bunch of kind of more advanced stuff, site history, so you could go back and restore to previous versions. You can create a new site, duplicate the site, transfer the site, ownership to somebody else. So if the site was built for you, then somebody would transfer the site to you. You can throw away the site, go back to your dashboard, and then exit editor, which will bring you to your Wix dashboard. We have overall settings for the entire site, so that we can connect the domain from our settings here. We can get a mailbox. A mailbox is provided by G Suite, so you could sign up and get a actual discount through Wix and get an upgraded mailbox at the domain of your choice. You can upgrade your hosting plan, and then there's a bunch of other stuff. Google, SEO Wiz. You can change your favicon. You can change your business information, your social share information. So the image that shares in a text message, for example, you could change that image. There's a bunch of marketing integrations, roles and permissions. Most of this stuff you probably won't ever have to deal with, but it is all here if you were looking for it. Dev mode is going to allow you to implement custom code into the website, and it's going to make Wix Editor look a little differently. So if you were ever to turn on dev mode and this is what you see, you probably, chances are, don't want this. So if you see this, you want to just turn dev mode off, and that will make you, it'll bring back classic Wix Editor here. Hire a professional is a good option if you're looking for somebody to build your website. We do build websites, so if you're looking for a professional, reach out to us. We are actually a Wix partner, so if you were to get matched with a professional, it could be me. And this will actually put your information out to a few professionals, and they will follow up with you and help you with whatever you're looking for on your Wix website. And then there also is a fantastic help center. Wix has a lot of tutorials and information themselves. So if you're ever looking for some help, there is a help tab up here to help you with whatever you're looking to do. That is a general overview of the Wix dashboard. Hopefully you learned something. Most of the stuff you probably won't need unless you are actually trying to build or edit the site itself. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at any time. I'm always happy to help, and I'm always looking to build new websites. So if you need a website built, CS Pro Media, I am your guy. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.